صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا رسول الله. صلى الله وسلم عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة ويا عبرة كل مؤمن ما خاب والله من تمسك بكم وأمن من لجأ والتجأ إليكم. يا ليتنا كنا فنفوز فوزا عظيما. All the lovers of Ahl al-Bayt, all the lovers of Hussein, release your voices and send them all the way to Karbala. All of us together. Assalamu ala al-Hussein wa ala وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. قال الله تعالى في محكم كتابه الكريم وقوله الحق وهو أصدق الصادقين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربنا هب لنا أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. In your gathering with remembrance of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. As a gift to the soul, the seal of the messengers, the beloved of Allah, Rasulullah and his honorable progeny, recite the second salawat. For Allah to shower onto this gathering with His infinite mercy and compassion, to hasten the reappearance of Sayyidina wa Mawlana Sahib al-Asri wa Zaman, recite the third salawat with the loudest of your voice. Tonight, we will be discussing a wound slowly bleeding across all of our communities. Tonight, we will address the crisis of meaningful connections. Tonight, we will discuss the decline in marriages and the skyrocketing number of failed marriages. Tonight, we shall declare this as a community emergency, something that many individuals across our community, the singles, the youth, our beloveds, are suffering and silently suffering from. We must address dating apps. We must address matchmakers. We must address the steady decline in meaningful connections that result into prosperous marriages. We must address where and how people are meant to meet one another to establish families. We must address the fact that today we have 35-year-olds and 40-year-olds in our community still declaring that they're not ready for marriage. We must address the fact that some of our young anymore are investing in gaming rather than investing in establishing families. We must address the fact that we have not, as a community, created a space for young men and young women to meet, and we have not made it possible for women within our community to be seen and heard, while our cultural expectations want them to be married prior to the age 23 and 24. And many people believe that we shouldn't talk about this. They're trying to treat this with silence. And it seems that we're going to be paying a very expensive price for our silence. The silence is going to cost us a lot. And some people believe that we pray to Allah. Prayer alone has also cost us a lot. While Netflix and Hulu are creating matchmaking reality shows, and they're the most popular shows today. The most popular apps and the most popular shows today are either dating apps or dating reality TV. And that is the truth. And they have created many kind of matchmaking reality shows. Indian reality show, Arab reality show, Persian reality show, Muslim reality dating shows, all of them are there. Why? Yes, they may be awkward. Yes, they may be cringe at time. Yes, they may be fake. I'm not suggesting you go and watch them or download those apps. But what I'm trying to say is they have really identified a problem. They have identified a need. While when we gather in such nights, we believe our community is in need of a 3-course niyaz. Our community is in need of tamman qima. However, our community today is in dire need of creating a space that results into meaningful connections, which result into prosperous marriages, which result into the home being the place where you find comfort. a place where you want to spend time in, not a place that you're trying to run away from. Today, many of our youth, they don't want to spend time at home. Until 2 a.m., they're out and about every single night. Some of the fathers, they spend many hours out with their friends or shisha joint until 2 a.m. He's smoking shisha while he's neglecting his home, his family, his children. Many of the mothers spend more time on social media and conversing with their friends. Why? Because the home is no longer a place of tranquility. People are not trying to spend too much time at home, and that is wrong. Today, the most fundamental message from the minbar of Imam al-Hussein salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi should be how to restore happiness, true happiness, a meaningful bond within our homes, because there is no institution more beloved to the Almighty Allah than the institution of family. There is no greater act of worship in Islam than two people coming together under the eyes of God. And we must address this reality. I'm speaking to you from the heart of an eminent reality. Today, our idea of matchmaking, our idea of bringing people together is no longer working. And sometimes I find that some communities go from a complete isolation. And I mean a complete isolation where men and women will never see each other, hear each other. There are curtains and walls and sometimes separate buildings. And I had a sister email me saying, I went to Salat al-Jum'ah in one of the centers. And they said, we don't have space for women, but we have a storage. If you like, we can open the storage. You can go and sit there. Storage. No AC, no carpet, nothing. With the junk that they have, go sit there. And then those individuals, they find that, okay, this Indian matchmaking, this Muslim matchmaking, reality TV is doing this, so now our youth are 30, 35 years old, they're not married, so they do something very, very awkward. And that is from complete isolation to speed dating. And it's not working. And it will never work. You cannot put people together in one room and say, you have 1 hour and all you talk about is marriage. They don't know each other. It's very awkward. It puts so much pressure and it will not give fruit, and it has not given fruit. How do people meet each other today in today's world? Whether you are Muslim, whether you are non-Muslim, whether you're practicing, whether you're not practicing, regardless of your nationality, regardless of your gender, regardless of your affiliation, regardless of your job, regardless of your education, statistics show that in this country, the number one place people go to find a partner is a dating app. Is a dating app. Okay? I'm not going to ask those on dating apps to raise their hands right now. However, listen to this. What is the problem with dating apps? First of all, you have a plethora of dating apps. Dating apps today are a billion-dollar industry. Tens of billions, if not hundreds of billions of dollars are made off people that are trying to find each other. Okay? Some of them are Muslim, and some of them are not. The non-Muslim ones, Hinge, Bumble, what else? Got you there. Those apps will find you different kinds of people, but then you have Muslim dating apps. The most famous of them with a billboard here is Muzmatch. And you have Salam, and you have Alaykum As-Salam, and you have Ba'as Salama, Khuda Hafiz. We have many. And what's happening there? Big promises, big promises. You will find, especially the Muslim dating apps, you will find your match within weeks, within months. And that is not the case. Their promises are more like a politician's promise. You know what a politician's promise is? I will end all the wars. The first day in office, I will end all the wars, and you have more wars. That's called a politician's promise. Why? Because number one, you have filters. Something called filters. One of the brothers told me, he said, Sayyid, I saw a young woman in hijab. She looked like an angel. She really looked like an angel. So I finally decided to meet her. When I met her, I realized this hijabi angel was AI generated. And he was literally about to propose to a Snapchat filter. That's number one. You have filters. You don't know. Number two, we have a major issue with social media dating and dating apps. And that is called ghosting. And I want to talk about ghosting. So pay attention to me. If you're 25 years old, 30 years old, 35 years old, 40 years old, I don't know. Full-grown men, full-grown women, adults. And you're really not interested in marriage. You're really not serious about marriage. But you have become a flirting machine. And you are flying your B-2 flirt bombers over many territories. But when things become serious, you're a vanisher. When things become serious, you start ghosting. I want you to listen to me. You're wasting your time, and your time is very precious. This time that you're spending is never going to come back to you. Why not settle down, relax, start a family, children, enjoy your life, work towards your life, work towards your hereafter? Why are you wasting your time? And if you still insist on being a player, then don't waste people's time. And if things don't work out, and if you decide that I've talked to this person for a day, for 2 days, for 3 days, and it's not working out, be honorable, be respectful. Tell them, look, I appreciate you, you're a great person, but it's not working out, so I'm no longer going to entertain this conversation. It takes a little bit of effort, just a little bit of effort to be respectful. It takes a little bit of effort to be honorable. It takes a little bit of effort to do the right thing. Another problem with dating apps, there are many problems, and I mean this. One of the most major problems with dating apps is what's called catfishing. What's catfishing is when a person creates a profile, but it's fake. It could be completely fake, it could be partially fake. For example, this person who has not even stepped foot in college, on their profile it says a graduate from Harvard. But he spelled Harvard wrong. Or they put fake pictures, or fake profiles, or fake incomes. Or on their profile it says, God comes first. Very religious, but when you see him, he doesn't even pray. He's drinking. I'm not making this up. Those are things that I hear every single day. Sisters in our community are talking to men who tell them, well, you know what, occasionally I pray. That means he never prays. Occasionally I drink. That means he drinks all the time. And that is wrong. That is wrong. This is a season for change. If you come to the majalis of Imam Hussein and you leave the same exact person, might as well not attend. If we do not address those issues in the majalis of Imam al-Hussein, then we have failed the majalis of Imam al-Hussein. So, somebody might come across a profile, young woman, she's a doctor, lives in River Oaks, Texas. She's been to Hajj, she's been to Ziyarah, she wears the hijab, she's very good looking, she drives a Porsche. And the reality might be, and I might as well, she also is a volunteer at Amin. But the reality might be, it might be some 45-year-old dude that lives in El Paso, Texas. Yes, catfishing is a real thing, and sometimes some people do it to exploit others, to hurt others, to manipulate others. And you've all heard of the stories. You've all read the news online. And some man car fishing. He puts a picture with a beautiful car. Habibi, come to Dearborn. And underneath it, you know, I'm every day changing another vehicle, but the truth is he's a valet. And the final reason why dating apps will not work, because they're called dating apps. They're not called marriage apps. And they tell you, the truth is, they tell you that men and women alike, swipe on 2% of the profiles. 98% will never have a swipe. So dating apps do not your time. If you're serious about marriage, if you're serious about starting a family, if you're serious about your happiness, if you're serious about your time, dating apps. Number two, especially in our communities, it is community events where people hope that they're going to meet somebody. Now, the truth about community events, brothers and sisters, is that most of the time, our community events are completely segregated. They're completely separated. There are, like I said, curtains and walls. And I think we have misunderstood the idea and the concept of hijab very deeply. Why? What is the purpose of hijab? The purpose of hijab, brothers and sisters, is because men and women are attracted differently. And I want my sisters, my friends to listen to me carefully. Men that are attracted to women through their physical appearance will rarely pursue something serious and permanent. Let me say that again. A man who is only attracted to a woman through her physical appearance, through her beauty, will rarely be serious. He will rarely pursue something permanent. So what do we say? Islam says that women should cover. Why? Because they safeguard themselves. Then they can pursue something meaningful, something permanent, something that is going to deliver happiness. Why? Because if a man falls in love with your ethics, with your morality, with your behavior, with your mind, then he is serious. He says, this woman should be the mother of my children. I want this woman to raise my kids. I trust this woman with my life. Then the problem is those women wear the hijab and they come to our community center. We don't give them the space for them to be seen and for them to be heard. That means we've understood the concept. We've misunderstood the concept. When we ask them to perform the hijab and wear the hijab and be modest, then we should allow them to display their skills, their mind, to speak, to build a community, to work together in order to ensure we have a bright future for this religion in this country. And while many Islamic centers have created this segregation, unfortunately, it has not led to more women wearing the hijab and coming to the congregation. And I'm being dead serious with you right now. It does not lead to more women wearing the entire veil and showing up to the congregation. Because of the separation that you find them not appropriately dressed to attend a place that the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Ahl al-Bayt is remembered in. That is why, brothers and sisters, I must say, I am extremely proud of this community. I'm not saying this because I stand before you right now. But we have a very diverse community. And I, travel to every single community. And I have seen every single community. This by far, I don't want to say I don't see diverse communities, but this by far is the most diverse community. And what's special about this community is that the youth are leading this initiative. Whether they're your 7, 8, 9-year-old kids standing in the mawqib, or whether they're your teenage children doing parking, or whether they are your adult children and youth organizing and volunteering. And this has now become a revolution. One of the fastest growing communities I have ever seen. And I want to say to other communities, other brothers, other sisters, we want all of you to be successful. This model works. Replicate this model. Allow your youth to lead. Allow your youth to have space where they're getting to know each other in a respectful manner, without crossing any boundaries. Building a community, building a future for themselves. And you might ask, how is this process going to be successful? I tell you, the only way for it to be successful is if the millennials and the Gen Zs themselves take this initiative. If they are the leaders of this initiative. The third and final way in my introduction for people to meet is through community matchmakers. And I'm not here to undermine community matchmakers. They do a great job. They try very hard. However, here's a conversation. Here's a conversation between a community matchmaker and, let's say, a young woman. Okay? Beta, he's a doctor. But auntie, he's missing a nose. But he's a doctor. But he's 45. I'm only 19 years old. Beta is a doctor. And that is the truth. And a lot of gossip sometimes comes out of this. Because if those matches don't work, then the next thing you have is somebody that's going around saying, well, this person is not serious. I don't know what she's thinking. She doesn't want to settle down. Maybe she has somebody else in mind. Oh, somebody's reputation is completely tarnished. Yeah? And about the guy, well, he's not as well. He can't even commit to anything. I've tried to introduce him to a bunch of people. He doesn't even show up. He can't even commit to a haircut. So if we look at all those dating apps won't work, communities failing, matchmakers are not. Like I said, I will reaffirm that the only way is not to put people in a room and tell them, here's 1 hour, go and get married. Go and find yourself out of this, 50, 60 people, go and find yourself the next spouse. It doesn't work that way. People need to get to know each other in a way where marriage is not the main agenda. It takes time. It takes time for people to get to know one another. It takes time for people to see one another in different situations and scenarios, when they're under pressure, when they're building a community, when they're putting an event together. while we are sitting here tonight, thousands sitting here tonight, you know how many endless hours our youth and our volunteers have spent time to put this event together. Endless hours, endless hours. You could not even count them. And I have said this in the past, and I will say it now, and I want change. Most of our volunteers are young women. May Allah bless them. May Allah bless them. May Allah bless them. But I see in front of me hundreds of young men. You need to tonight go and sign up and become a volunteer. This is also part of your job. This is also part of your life. It's not that you go to work, inshallah, you're very successful and you make money and you buy a home and you buy a car, but this building a community, building a home for yourself, for your children, inshallah, in the future, is also part of being a man. Is also part of your responsibility. And if you as parents have sons, we have many of the sisters, the more the merrier, they're more than welcome to join. If you have sons that have yet not volunteered here, I encourage you tonight, before you leave, you make sure they sign up as volunteers. Tonight, brothers and sisters, I want to talk about something even more important. And that's not to just the problem with finding someone, but let's say you are in pursuit of finding someone. You're talking to someone. You would like to start talking to someone. Or you already have someone. Or you're already married. And you have children. We want to talk about something very important, and that is prosperity within the family. That is happiness within the family. And I have realized that people sometimes undermine some of the negative qualities within them. So for example, if once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times you have tried to get to know someone and it has not worked, it is time that I look inward and I ask myself, what did I do? Maybe there's something wrong with me. And there's no shame in that. There's no shame. We're all humans. We've all had our set of childhood trauma. We have all had issues. And today I may have qualities, characteristics, behaviors that I can change. Change in Arabic is referred to as Islah. Islah. Reform. And Imam Abu Abdullah al-Hussein salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi, when he embarked on the journey from Mecca to Karbala, he declared his mission statement. And this mission statement should be written on every wall of every majlis around the world. Why? Because sometimes we're not focused on Imam Hussein's mission statement. The first thing that you do when a company hires you, or when you establish a company or organization, you have to have a mission statement. And when you don't stick to the mission statement, the board, the trustees remind you, look, this is our mission statement. We got to stay focused, right? Am I right or wrong? Today we have people working in the name of Imam al-Hussein, doing things for Imam al-Hussein, but they're not focused on his mission statement. Imam al-Hussein's mission statement is very clear. إني لم أخرج أشرا ولا بطرا ولا مفسدا. I did not embark on this journey to waste time. I did not embark on this journey for the sake of popularity. I did not embark on this journey for the sake of fame and power. I only embarked on this journey لأجل إصلاح أمة جدي رسول الله, so that I can perform islah, so that I can bring change and reform to the community of my grandfather Rasulullah. لكي آمر بالمعروف, so I enjoin the good. Is this not enjoining the good? To create families, happy families within our community is the greatest form of enjoining good. لكي آمر بالمعروف وأنهى عن المنكر. And if there are bad habits, if there are bad qualities, We want to uproot them. The school of Imam al-Hussein, when we come for those majalis and we leave, we ought to graduate with an A, so that we can become Husseini. Our homes can become Husseini. Our families can become Husseini. Our children can become Husseini. And there is no shame, brothers and sisters. I'm here to tell you, I'm not shaming anybody. But if I have those qualities within me, then I should look inward to change them. Amongst those are not, red flags. Some of them, let me tell you, some of them you're able to live with, tolerate. You can help someone if your partner has those issues, you can help them. If you find them within you, then you slowly start changing. But some of them, I may be able to tolerate, but you won't be able to. But we have to understand. A lot of times when we get into marriages, it's because of the immense emotions that take over us, where we don't think rationally and we make mistakes. And when the romance period, when the honeymoon period is over, guess what? Who do they call? They call me. Before, I used to talk to people a year, 2, 3 years within their marriages. Right now, I'm talking to people before their marriage. There's already issues. Sometimes 2 weeks within the marriage. What are those qualities? How can we change them? Because ultimately the goal is happiness. Ultimately the goal is I want to be happy. When I look at my wife, when I look at my husband, when I look at my children, I want to be happy. I want to be joyful. Look at Imam al-Hussein on the 10th of Muharram. There's a war. There are tens of thousands of enemies, and he's about to be annihilated, but the family is so respectful. The family is so loving. The family is so kind. They're embracing one another and loving one another, and there is no panic. In our homes, sometimes we create war. We create panic. One of those qualities, brothers and sisters, is being a hyper-perfectionist. Now, there's nothing wrong with being a perfectionist, a hyper-perfectionist. Again, I'm not shaming anybody. But living with a hyper-perfectionist is like living with a regulator, a surveillance system, where every word, everything that you do, everything that you say is analyzed and examined in so many different ways. You text good morning and they text you back, next time capitalize the G. And that could be a problem. What I'm trying to say is, if you believe, and I talked about hyper-perfectionists, and I don't know, last year or the year before, what is the result? What causes somebody to be a hyper-perfectionist? It is due to childhood trauma. Most of it goes to childhood shaming. So I'm not telling you this is a problem and you're no good and this is an ick or this is a red flag. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you feel that you're a hyper-perfectionist, you got to relax. It's going to be difficult for people to live with you. They may love you, but it's going to be hard. You got to relax. You got to tell yourself, if I identified the problem. If you look at the table and, for example, the remote control is not perfectly aligned, they can't even sit down. Right? Am I right or right? So if you have identified this problem within you, change. If you have a partner who's a hyper-perfectionist, help them. If you work together, you will see results. But if you work against one another, guess what's going to happen? The divorce lawyers are going to be rich, more rich, and you're going to be alone. Number 2 is the relentless rebel. What do I mean, the relentless rebel? It's there, relentless rebel. they cannot accept authority. Some people cannot accept authority. Some people will challenge authority. Some people will challenge any opinion. Some people will challenge everyone. That's just part of their personality. So for example, you say, hey, what do you want to have for dinner tonight? Let's go out. Oh yeah, I'm good with anything. We can go anywhere. Okay, why don't we go to Italian? Oh no, I hate pasta. Okay, why don't we do this? No, I don't want to do it. No. Okay, why don't you tell us what you want to do? And then they'll say, well, pasta actually sounds good. Yeah. It's really true. And sometimes some people just can't help it. If they hear a great idea from somebody else, they got to. If somebody else is doing really good, they can't help it. If somebody's successful, they got to find a flaw and bring them down. They got to show they're jealous and they can't tolerate other people's success. And it's a problem because if you try to bring a successful person down, how does that make you successful? You're not going to end up being successful. Let's say somebody is very successful, somebody has great ideas. Within your family, somebody started a very great idea, great business. By you trying to tarnish them and bring them down, you're not going to end up being successful. It's just you're going to be wasting your time bringing somebody else down. If you find those qualities, those human qualities, that are those are top negative qualities in people. If you find yourself all the time or sometimes doing that, being relentless, then it's time that I look inward and say, you know what? Yes, that's a problem that I have. I really need to change that. Why? Because of your happiness. Because of your family's happiness. And change will come, and sometimes it's difficult. But change will come. You gotta have patience. Every time you make the mistakes, somebody's gotta remind you, hey, remember you promised you're gonna change? Well, you slipped. That's a great way of beginning this change. Third is the personalizer. A personalizer is somebody that benign, neutral comments about them, they'll take it to heart. They will personalize everything and anything. For example, you praise someone's success. You say, well, you did a really good job. And next thing you know, hey, why aren't you looking at me? Why are you so upset? You never tell me I'm successful. Are you suggesting I'm a failure? Oh, this had nothing to do with you. I'm just praising somebody else. Or if you praise, for example, somebody's biryani, this biryani was really good. Are you saying I don't know how to cook biryani? And that's a real problem. Or for example, if you tell somebody, I went to this person's house and, for example, her husband was, for example, helping her with the dishes. Are you saying I never help you with the dishes? No, this has nothing to do with you. Don't take everything so personally. So a lot of times, again, due to childhood trauma, due to issues that we've had, we may become somebody that takes everything personal. If you find yourself that kind of person, it's time for you to change and let people within your house help you. Number 4, you're all going to love this one, as the drama magnet. Oh, we have a lot of those. Some people, wherever they go, whatever they're doing, probably even in their sleep, there's got to be drama. They're magnets to drama. They cannot live without drama. They cannot live without chaos. If there is no chaos, they can't breathe. They'll create drama. And don't tell me, no, I'm not a drama. No. If you are a drama magnet, you know you're a drama magnet. If 5 out of 6 people around you are telling you you're a drama magnet, you probably are a drama magnet. And people that have chased drama and they're drama magnets, everything is going to result into a fight. Everything you say, they're going to run out of the room, bang the door, and probably next thing you know, your WhatsApp status. Some wounds will never heal with an apology. I mean, some people's social media is all about drama. Every day they wake up, wounds don't heal. So, it really is tough to live with a drama magnet. But, inshallah, if you have willpower, if you're strong enough, if you're dedicated to your family, if you're dedicated to your happiness, if you're dedicated to your mental health, it's time for that change to come. Fifth is a big talker. And, you know how big talkers are. We have a president that's a big talker. Big talkers will give you so many promises. So many promises. Oh, next year I will take you here. I will buy you this. I will do this. I will. But it's all talk. At the end of the day, it's all talk. There's nothing substantial. Big talkers are also dangerous. Sometimes you need to actually sit them down and say, listen, you're just talk. We need to see some action. And you need to remind them. Because when we sit across from big talkers and they're doing all this big talking, and we pretend like, yeah, of course, yeah. We're letting them continue to carry those mistakes and those bad behaviors without correcting them. We're doing them a disservice. Now, I'm not telling you to show up to, your nephew's wedding or your cousin's, for example, birthday shower, whatever it's called, and you start telling, you're a big talker, you create a scene. No. As a friend, as a brother, as a sister, as somebody that cares, you call this person, you invite them, beautiful meal, and you sit and say, listen, there's something everybody's noticed about you. Everybody sees it, but nobody really is telling you, but it doesn't look good on you. It's not a good quality to have. You're a big talker. You gotta talk less. Step up with action. Ahl al-Bayt salawatullahi alayhim and their companions and those who attribute themselves to the Ahl al-Bayt are never big talkers. They're all about action. All about action. Show me, don't tell me. And if you want to find happiness within your family, happiness equals quality time, quality behavior. Don't tell me, show me. This is also very important. Number 6, it's the pampered prince and the pampered princess. People who want to live. I saw on Brown TikTok, I saw videos, people going to Louis Vuitton, okay? She's buying a bag, and she says, I don't go to Louis Vuitton to brag. This is my lifestyle. And then they go to sushi, it's $150 a person. I don't go to this restaurant because I want to brag. It's a lifestyle. They're driving, an Escalade. I'm not driving an Escalade to brag. This is a lifestyle. This is called a pampered prince, pampered princess. Most definitely, I'm so sorry to say, you probably will not find happiness if this is how you're going to continue to live your life. Why? Because family comes with responsibility. You have to work. You have to sacrifice. There's going to be good days. There's going to be bad days. If your lifestyle is that you're 365 days out of the year, you're checked into the Ritz-Carlton, guess what? Nobody's going to be able to offer that for you. That's not, a definition of happiness. Marriage, regardless of who you marry, regardless of where you live, regardless of the millions of dollars that your husband or father or whoever you may have, not everything is not every piece of happiness comes through money. So if there's going to be a time where people need to commit, where people need to have patience, where people need to have sabr, this lifestyle is not going to work. And I tell you, brothers and sisters, and I said this last year, do not spoil your children. This is a problem we have in our community. We have two kinds of people. One, it's a boot camp at their home. The stick is always high. People are scared. They can't breathe. They can't talk. And we have the other kind that pamper their children and they spoil them. And I said, spoiling your children will result just like milk gets spoiled, your children get spoiled. Then when you let them out in the real world, they cannot face reality. They'll make so many mistakes. They cannot even make a single decision. Why you gotta put them in that situation? Let them toughen up. Give them some sort of space so that they can become independent. It's okay if they make mistakes here and there, because that's the real world. In the real world, it's not easy. And last but not least, the last quality that I want to talk about is the savior. Some people are only attracted to broken people. Somebody who's broken, shattered, demolished. They're attracted to this kind of people, to save them. Superheroes, Superman mentality, Superwoman mentality. The problem with that is once your services are no longer needed, once this person has now recovered, once this person is now okay, once this person is already healed, such people, and I have seen this with my own eyes, and I have sat and talked to people like this, they feel insignificant. My role is now over. What do I do now? Safeguard your emotions, your heart, your mind, your soul, your body. This is a gift from the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now with all that said, you might say, Sayyid, well, if we go through all this list, I'm not going to find anybody. It's going to be very difficult to find people that have no flaws. I'm not saying that. I said with some of those qualities, you may be able to live. I can't. And vice versa. And also the idea was not to say that those people, push them away, don't talk to them, excommunicate them, put a red flag on them. No. The idea was that I look inward to fix myself. To see which one of those, maybe one, maybe two, maybe all six apply to me. And how I can slowly but surely bring about that change. Brothers and sisters, when we come to the majalis of Imam al-Hussein, when we look at the legacy of Imam al-Hussein, it's truly all about family. It's truly all about family. From the moment that he was called to the palace of the governor of Medina, telling him that Muawiyah has died and now we have a new Khalifa, and his name is Yazid ibn Muawiyah. And you know that story? When he called him and he said, we have a new Khalifa, his name is Muawiyah. His name is Yazid. Muawiyah has died and he's put Yazid. Imam al-Hussein, before he went and he met the governor, he took his brothers, he took his cousins, he took his nephews. He was always surrounded by his family. This is how you know a man is successful. A man is loved. A man is doing a great job. A woman, she's doing a great job if she's surrounded by her family. If their family wants to always be with them. And when he began the journey, and when he bid farewell to his family, some of his family that could not join him, they were in tears. And when he went to Mecca, he was with his family. When he went and arrived to Karbala, he was with his family. Some of them were young, very young. But they were very attached to Imam al-Hussein. One of those young children who was very attached to Imam al-Hussein was his beloved daughter. She was 3 years old. Ruqayyah, who's buried in Damascus. 3 years old. 3 years old. And Imam al-Hussein in his camp had many young children, many young girls, but he specifically loved this one so much. And they asked him, they said, Ya Abu Abdullah, you always kiss her and you always pet her and you always hug her. And he said, when I look at her, I remember my mother Fatima to Zahra. I see the face of Fatima on this 3-year-old. And on the 10th of Muharram, when Imam al-Hussein came out of the tents and he said, Bismillah wa billah wa fi sabilillah wa ala millati Rasulillah. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير أفوض أمري إلى الله إن الله بصير بالعباد. His sister Zainab heard him. She said, Ya Aba Abdullah, كأنك تنعى نفسك. It seems that those are the last moments. It seems that you are bidding farewell. He tells her, oh my sister Zainab, look at the camp. The camp has been demolished and destroyed. Look at my companions, their bodies without heads. And it is time that I stand in defense of Islam. She says to him, oh brother Hussein, before you do that, you make sure you come to the tent of the women and children. So he went to the tent of the women and children, saying, Al-Wada', Al-Wada', قد قرب منكم الافتجاع. Then he went and he did his wada, and he did not find this 3-year-old Ruqayya. He asked, where is my daughter Ruqayya, the one who resembles my mother Fatima to Zahra? They went and they saw that she's holding on to the hoofs of the horse of Imam al-Hussein, saying, I know my father would not listen to me, but I don't want you to take my father to the enemies. Talking to this horse, Imam al-Hussein came, he hugged her, he kissed her, he said goodbyes to her. Then he looked at his sister Zainab. He says, oh Zainab, I want you to take special care of her because she is a reminder of our mother Fatima to Zahra. What did they do with this child? They took Ahlul Bayt Rasulullah from one city to another, parading the head of Abu Abdullah in front of them until they reached Damascus, until they reached Sham. Yazid said, for 3 days, keep them at the entrance of Sham. Do not let them enter. To humiliate them, to destroy them, to break them, women, children. Allahu Akbar, As-Sayyida Zainab, Imam Zainul Abidin, all those Aitam of Imam al-Hussein were at the doorsteps of Sham. Then they entered Sham, but where did they send them, O Mu'mineen? They sent them to a neighborhood of Yahud, a Yahudi neighborhood, into the ghettos, into the ruins of Sham. When they sat there, this girl, Ruqayya bint al-Hussein, she said, oh my aunt Zainab, I miss my father Hussein. Brothers and sisters, raise your voice. Ya Rahim Allah man nada wa Husayna wa madluma wa ghariba. Let us raise our voices, send our voices to the grave of this Babul Hawa'ij in Damascus and Sham, where she has no visitors tonight, but she is Babul Hawa'ij. Tell her, Ya Sayyidatana wa Mawlatana, Ya Bint al-Hussein, Ya Yatimat al-Hussein, Inna tawajjahna wastashfa'na wa tawassalna biki وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيهة عند الله اشفعي لنا عند الله. 3 times with all your heart, with everything that you've got, call her, and she is Babul Hawa'ij. I personally have taken Hawa'ij from her, bi'idhnillahi azza wa jal. Ya wajihatan عند Brothers, please, I want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Sahib al-Asri wa Zaman to look at this majlis, to glance at this majlis. Your numbers are large. I want you to release your voice. Don't be shy. This is the majlis of Imam al-Hussein. Imam al-Sadiq says, may Allah have mercy upon the voices that are raised for us. The third time, if you have a hajah, if you have an illness, if you know those who have hajat, and especially if you want to go to Karbala, if you want to be amongst the visitors of Hussein and Arba'een, the third time with the loudest of your voices, Ya wajihatan ishfa'i lana. She cried and she cried and she cried. Those are my last sentences, brothers and sisters. Many of you have daughters. You know how it feels to have a connection with the daughter and her father. A daughter cannot live without her father's mercy, without her father's love. She was used to love of Imam al-Hussein salawatullahi alayh. She goes to sleep. In her sleep she sees Imam al-Hussein, her father, her beautiful father. And her father is sitting her on her lap and he's loving her. She says, Ya Abata, oh father, I've got a lot to tell you. After you left, they came and they whipped us on our backs. After you came, after you left, they set our tents on fire. And then they paraded us from one city to another until we are here. Ya oh father, when will you come to save us? She cried and she cried until she woke up from her sleep. She says, Amma Zainab, oh my aunt Zainab, Ayna Abi al-Hussein, Ayna Habibi al-Hussein. She says to her, your father has gone on to a long journey. He won't come back, but we will go to him, meaning the journey of Akhirah. This young woman, this young girl, 3 years old, orphan of Hussein, starts crying. Everyone cries with her. The cries reach the palace of Yazid. She says, what's happening? He says, what's happening? They say that this 3-year-old daughter of Hussein, the team of Hussein, she's crying. She wants her daughter. He was drunk. He says, no problem. Take her daughter, take her father to her. Take the head of the father to his daughter. They came into the ruins of Sham with a basket. They put it in front of this girl. They said, what you want is in this basket. She says, I did not ask for food. I asked for my father Hussein. They said, whatever you ask is in this basket. She raised the basket. She sees the beheaded head of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. She takes the head of the father. She holds him dearly, close to her heart. She says, Abatah, Abatah, من الذي أيتمني على صغر سني من الذي خضب الشيب الخضيب. Oh my father, who's dyed your beard with your blood, who severed your body from your head, from your body. And she cried and she cried until she stopped crying. Mu'mineen, Imam Zainul Abidin says, Amma Zainab, ارفعيها عن رأس أبيها فقد وقد والله رافقت روحها الدنيا. Oh Aunt Zainab, remove her from her father's head, for now she is with her father Hussein. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. اللهم فرج عنا يا الله. Everyone say Ameen. Allahumma farrij anna ya Allah. Allahumma aghfir dhunubana. Allahumma astur uyubana. Oh Allah, we ask you to shower us with your forgiveness. We ask you to shower us with your compassion. Allahumma adkhil ala ahli al-qubur as-surur. Allahumma shafi wa afi kulla mareed. O Allah, accept from all the members of this community, all the azadars of this community. Send the blessings of this majlis to the mu'mineen and mu'minat souls of our sponsors, those who attend, those who listen, and accept this humble aza from us and grant us the visitation of Hussein قريبا عاجلا and the shafa'a of Hussein عاجلا وإلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات والعلماء والشهداء وخدمة الحسين. نقرأ جميعا ثواب سورة المباركة الفاتحة مع الصلوات.